always certain things that are ongoing in our kitchen. Not things that I do every single day, but one day I might make broth, another day yogurt. Sometimes they're all going at the same time. Last night I had some yogurt going. I like to do this in my Instant Pot. It just makes it really easy. I put about a gallon of milk in my Instant Pot, press the saute function until it gets hot, pull the little insert out, let it cool, then add the yogurt starter or some yogurt from a previous batch, and then allow it to ferment for 8 hours up to 24, kind of just depending on when I put it in the Instant Pot. I believe this one was around 16-ish hours. A lot of times I will just leave it right in the Instant Pot insert and put it in my refrigerator, but I had another task that I wanted to do today with the Instant Pot, so I just transferred it to a glass container. I pulled some bones that I've been reserving from chickens out of the freezer, put them in my Instant Pot. I'm going to make some quick broth up. Now, I like to use the gasket that brings it to pressure in the Instant Pot when doing bone broth, but I never put it in when making yogurt because yogurt doesn't need to come to pressure. And if you put the gasket in there and you previously made a roast or a chicken or some bone broth, it will impart some flavor into the yogurt that you don't really want. That's something I learned a long time ago. Just don't use the little gasket thing because you don't need to bring the yogurt to pressure. I had a little bit of yogurt left over that wouldn't fit into my container, so I'm making a smoothie with it. I make myself some kind of smoothie or protein drink just about every single morning. When I first get up in the morning, I like to sit there for quite a while with my coffee. I usually have a few kids on my lap. I'll be nursing the baby. But once I get up and get going, I don't really like to stop and sit and eat breakfast. So I just put all the things in mine that'll keep me going for the day. Usually I'll put in some protein powder, cholesterol. I'll even throw an egg in there, some bananas. If they're frozen, that's even better. A lot of times I'll just do it with raw milk, but sometimes I'll do it with yogurt, just depending on what we have, what sounds good, what I need to make room for in the fridge. When it's milk, I'll usually add some peanut butter as well. The peanut butter, banana, chocolate protein flavor combo is really good. Right now I have the green tea flavored cholesterol. I'll throw that in there as well. It adds a little bit more nutrition and caffeine, and it doesn't throw off the chocolate flavor, in my opinion. This morning for the kids, I am making whole grain sourdough toast with strawberry jam and some fried eggs. Good boy. Okay. I want to say thank you to Caraway for sponsoring today's video. I prioritize our family's health here in our kitchen and with cooking. I like to mill my own grains, ferment sourdough bread, and fermented vegetables. Along with all of that, I definitely want to avoid toxins when it comes to our cookware. I don't want to take all this time to cook from scratch, source quality ingredients, and then add toxins to our meal in the process of cooking it. I want my time and my efforts to be put to good use. Did you know that 97% of Americans have PFAs, which is a toxin that is found in nonstick cookware like Teflon, actually in their bloodstream? It's been linked to all kinds of serious health issues, from immune system problems to reproductive issues and even cancer. When you think about how often you use your pots and pans, if you're like me, I cook 3 times a day in my kitchen, it makes sense to choose cookware that's actually safe. Over 70% of frying pans in America include Teflon, and the forever chemicals that are present can take decades to leave our body, potentially causing health risks like respiratory issues. Caraway is a non-toxic kitchenware brand that offers high-quality kitchen essentials. Caraway's holiday sale is here, and it's their biggest sale of the year. I've got an exclusive offer that's only available through a few of their brand partners, so make sure you watch until the end to see the deal. Interesting tidbit, the founder of Caraway accidentally overheated a nonstick PTFE, aka Teflon pan, and got sick with Teflon flu. After looking into the problem, he found out that it only takes 2.5 minutes for Teflon pans to heat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and begin to release toxic chemicals into the air. Caraway's pans use a ceramic coating, which is a naturally slick surface and 100% non-toxic. That means you can use minimal oil or butter and get those slide off the pan eggs. It also makes cleaning up easier. The cookware is 100% non-toxic. These make amazing gifts for anyone starting their Christmas shopping early, but grab one for yourself too before the season gets hectic. You'll be so glad to have big, functional cookware for all of your holiday cooking. And there's a little insider secret. This offer won't change, no extra Black Friday or pre-Christmas sales, so now's the perfect time to snag it. I'd recommend getting the cookware set like I did. It comes with the saute pan, fry pan, Dutch oven, and saucepan, plus lids for all of them, a lid holder, and magnetic pan rack for storage. This saves you 20% versus buying individually. Caraway is offering the biggest sale of the year right now. You can save up to 25% site-wide, and with my code INFBOON, you'll also get a free Graza Frizzle spray on all orders exclusive to my audience only. The more you spend, the more you save, and at the highest tier, you'll also get a free Caraway bar set, their brand new launch. Don't wait to grab this deal. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. You can also grab the QR code right here. Part of my routine as a homemaker and mother of 9 involves laundry every single day. I really try to stay on top of laundry, and doing a load or 2 a day means that it never gets out of control. We do have a small laundry room, so we have to be very efficient with it. If we had piles of laundry everywhere, it would be spilling out into a main thoroughfare in our home, because the hallway just outside of it is the hallway that is between our kitchen and our dining room. So there is just really no option for letting laundry pile up. Now, for those of you who've been following along a while, you know that we are also building a new house right now. This is a temporary house that we are staying in. Now, we've been here a year, so temporary in that we've been here a year and we'll be here for a few more months. So not super temporary, but nonetheless, we are building a new house, and we have a small laundry room in the new house as well, and I'm really okay with that. We've always had small laundry rooms. Actually, the one in the new house is probably the largest one that we've had. Our first house on Boone Street had the laundry right in the door that we always came in. Now, it was the back door, so it wasn't where our guests came in, but it was the back door that lined up with the garage, so it was always right where we came in. And it was one room with the mudroom, not large. So there wasn't room, again, to let laundry get out of control. That was the house that we moved into when we first got married, when I was pregnant with our first child. So I grew up as a mom, I guess you could say, in that home and really established my routines. And I've been doing laundry this way pretty much ever since. I don't believe we ever had a weekly laundry routine. I think at some point I probably had a lot less laundry to do, but it's always been something that I just address as it happens. To me, that's always made the most sense. It's felt the least overwhelming. Another thing I've really gotten used to as a homemaker over the years through our various houses is not a lot of space to store clothing. So our first home on Boone Street had a very small closet, very similar to the one that we have in this house. Our last house, our little farmhouse on 7 acres, had no closet at all in any of the rooms. So we just used an armoire and a dresser for both of us, Luke and myself. So we really gotten used to paring down our clothing, keeping a minimal wardrobe, and I've come to really appreciate how easy that makes laundry and caring for clothing, especially as we've added more children. So now we have a very minimal wardrobe for pretty much everybody in the family, except the girls, but they manage their own clothes, so that's great. Our new home will have a closet, and when we were designing the home, I had several people along the way ask, are you sure this closet is big enough for your main primary closet? And I told them, trust me, we've never had a closet this big. This will be fine. It's not a huge closet, but you can walk into it, which to me means that it's automatically very, very large. So I think we'll have fun organizing that space and utilizing it. But right now, I don't really even feel like we don't have enough space as it is. Like so many things, I think it's what you get used to. Most likely, after we've had the closet that we'll have in the new house for a while, I won't be able to go back, but isn't that just how it is? I had some whole grain sourdough bread going yesterday. This morning, I divided it, put it into Banneton baskets, and then put it on top of the preheating oven so that it could rise really fast on the second rise. Now I'm going to bake it so I can serve it alongside some cheeseburger soup. I love making anything with ground beef because ground beef thaws really fast. We have a lot of it. Soon we're going to be having a lot of venison, and I use venison in the same way that I use ground beef, and cheeseburger soup is something that everyone likes. They eat it really well. I like that I can add homemade bone broth to make it nourishing and get away with sneaking in tons of vegetables as well. I like making bone broth in the Instant Pot because within an hour or an hour and a half, you can get bone broth that will gel in the refrigerator once it's strained off. A lot of times I will need it right away like I did today. So I just set it up with a strainer and just dish it out directly into the soup. A lot of times I will make bone broth on the back of the stove and simmer it for many hours or even sometimes a day or more. Sometimes I'll even keep a perpetual pot and add more bones and just keep it going. That's a really lovely and cozy thing to do in the wintertime so that you always have bone broth ready to add to soups. In that pot, you can also add herbs, tops of celery and bits of carrots and onion and garlic to flavor it as well. It'll make your house smell amazing and have a healthy bone broth always ready to go. In the fall and winter time, I like to always have bread dough going. It's such a simple process to mix the ingredients together. I'm in my kitchen a lot, so I'm there to stretch and fold it throughout the day. And if I'm not, 3 stretch and folds, sometimes even 2, will totally suffice to develop the gluten. And because it's cooler in my kitchen, I can let it sit for a good long while, all the way until the next day, and then do a quick second rise and then have bread again for that day. It really fits in so nicely with my current flow in the kitchen. We need to go over to the farm today to check on build progress, and I want to give you an update of where everything is. Before that, though, I'm going to get some dinner going in the oven so that way there's something here when we get back. I love mixing up a meatloaf because I can do it without any additional dishes. I just put all of the ingredients right in my 9x13 pan and mix it up there. I'm doing 3 pounds of ground beef, 3 eggs, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of ketchup, and my homemade sourdough breadcrumbs, which I make all the time with little bits of leftover sourdough bread, biscuits, cornbread even, whatever sourdough things I have. I toast them, blend them up, and then keep it on my countertop for things like meatloaf. I also have a bunch of sweet potatoes, and we just keep making sweet potato casserole. It is not just for Thanksgiving. It tastes great and comforting all throughout the winter season. So when we get back from the farm, they should be soft enough, cooked through, and ready to blend up. I'm going to give a little update on where we are with the build. Of course, things are constantly changing, and at the same time, feels like they're going very slowly, but I will tell you what has changed since I have shared on here last. First thing is this car barn, and yes, it's a mess because we have so many building things coming, but this is, of course, the garage doors. We found old timbers from a local shop that has a barn full of old barnwood, and the idea that Brent Hall gave us was they should be about flush with the stone. This is a weathered field stone. It's supposed to look like an old barn. And then same for the timbers. It's way too bright right now. That go above the windows. So there's 2 windows here, then 2 on this side, a person door. We decided to go with the stone sill as well. And then we still need to paint this door. It's not going to be that color, but it looks fine for now. And then we have 3 windows here. Now Brent gave us the idea for putting larger stones on the corners. This is the coining. I think it looks really great. One thing Luke had to work on before everything froze was this painting this porch. And we had a bit of an issue with the Japanese beetles. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen like the amount. It's really crazy. I'll put a video here. It was nuts. But it actually worked out. He had to sweep off the ones that got stuck in after it dried, but I think ultimately it'll turn out. New old house, right? We did linseed oil paint in the color Medway PA from Bruins & Co. for this new old house porch. Another project that we've been looking forward to completing is to make all of the posts look like they are supported by bricks. So of course there's actual concrete piers below all of them, in the front and the back and the side porch, because you know the back porch and the side porch are supposed to be looking like porches. So it really just took a couple bricks to wrap the concrete that was below all of the posts and all of the faux posts. Of course, we did the same brick that we have on the chimneys. I don't remember if last time I was on here if I showed that our front door is installed. Luke is currently still working on painting these side lights and transom window. And then of course all the trim around this needs to be finished. But it matches this. We just recently had this here installed around the windows and the door. And then love this door. Super excited about it. I found it at an architectural salvage place. You can see here painted ladybug. I'm just loving how this porch is turning out. The last of these windows, the casement windows, are shipping this week. So once those are in, we can proceed with the insulation, the drywall, paneling, all the things. Because we also already have all of the electric in. So that is all we are waiting on now is the casement windows, which are shipping. Like by the time this video comes out, they're probably here, and we can start putting in everything. We can finish this entire house, which I'm very excited about. I really hope I did okay with the placement of all the lights and the sconces and the outlets and the switches. I don't know. I keep telling myself it's okay because I've never lived in a new house before. So I've never had any hand in figuring out these things, and yet it's always been fine. So I figure I can probably learn to live with anything. So I chose what I chose, and if we need to add something, I know that wouldn't be the end of the world either. This old door, actually, the lock operates. Now we have to get the little thingy that it goes into. It's nice to know that it actually operates. One thing I look forward to and really love about fall and winter homemaking is lighting up all of the lamps and the candles in the evening to make the place feel cozy and comforting. Also, Miriam's stocking came in, so now my wall of stockings is complete. After the meatloaf is mostly baked, I put some ketchup on top and a little bit of brown sugar. And again, I just like to stir it around right there on top of the meatloaf so I don't have to make a separate bowl. A lot of times after it's been baking a while, I grab some juices from the pan, mix that in a bit with the ketchup and the brown sugar, and that'll bake for a few more minutes while I mix up the sweet potato casserole. I have this recipe over on my blog, farmhouseonboone.com. I will leave that linked below, plus any of the other recipes I mentioned in today's video, including my beginner sourdough bread recipe. I wasn't planning to make cookies this evening, but a few of my children wanted to, so I milled some soft white wheat because that is our favorite grain to make whole grain cookies with. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this little peek into my life as a homemaker and mother of 9 in this current season of life that we are in. For more from scratch recipes and following along with our new old farmhouse build, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.